Hi guys, it's V, and I talk about tabletop RPGs. I recently made the switch from D&D 5e to Pathfinder 2e, and let's just say, character creation has so much more depth. Now, this feature in Pathfinder is awesome, but I will admit that it is probably overwhelming for new players. This video will go over each common class currently in Pathfinder 2e in brief. I will be dividing this video into two different sections, martials and casters. First up will be the martial classes. I define martial classes as those who do not have spell slots by default. This does not mean that martial classes are unable to cause magical effects or even cast spells. First up is the Alchemist. The Alchemist is a master of chemical quote-unquote science and uses this expertise to craft a variety of items. These alchemical items include, but are not limited to, elixirs of life, toxins, mutagens, and explosives. An alchemist character could utilize the medical powers inherent in many of their elixirs to heal the party, or be a master of poisons and subtle assassinations. The Barbarian focuses on their supernatural rage to demolish anyone, or anything, that gets in their way. This rage manifests itself in a powerful resistance to damage, and thus the Barbarian is extremely durable. A Barbarian character could channel the anger of their ancestors into spiritual rage, or take a note from the vicious creatures of nature. The Champion is a parallel to D&D's Paladin, but it is different in many ways. A Champion serves as a holy warrior for a deity, and can take a cause relating to any alignment their deity allows. A Champion character could serve as a chaotic good hero, freeing innocence from oppression and persecution, or a lawful evil warlord, reinforcing cruel hierarchies into order. The Fighter is a weapon and armor savant, and serves as a master of the battlefield. The Fighter can utilize a variety of different armaments, such as shields, metal armor, swords, axes, daggers, etc. A Fighter character could be a masterful archer, raining death on enemies from a range, or a swordsman holding their own in melee. The Investigator is a master of detective work and mystery solving. This class is a perfect match for campaigns that focus on mysteries or political intrigue. An investigator character could be trained in forensic sciences and solve murders based on evidence found at the crime scene, or they could be a sweet-talking master of interrogations. The Monk is a supernaturally skilled martial artist, and uses their life force, or chi, to pull off magnificent feats of martial or magical prowess. A monk character could be an extremely disciplined master of chi that unleashes devastating magical effects on the battlefield, or they could hone their physical bodies to extreme heights. The Ranger is a talented master of nature, survival, and hunting. A ranger can brave the wilderness and the horrors contained within without even breaking a sweat. A ranger character could be a precision hunter, knowing just the right place to strike to flawlessly end lives, or they could be more of a cunning hunter, focusing on tricking their victims. The Rogue is a savant of criminal activity, and thus focuses on sneaking, deception, assassinations, etc. The Rogue is also trained in an unholy amount of skills, assuring that they can be useful in any situation. A Rogue character could be a stealthy jewel thief, or a leader and a master manipulator of an entire criminal organization. A Swashbuckler is melodrama incarnate. The Swashbuckler is a performer first and foremost, and uses this flamboyant flair to generate panache and pull off incredible feats in combat. A Swashbuckler could be a famous pirate captain with a penchant for intimidating enemies, or a suave duelist with a reputation for charm. Now that we have completed the martial half of this video, it's time for the casters. I define a caster as a class that does have spell slots. First up is the fabulous bard. A bard is an artist, musician, or performer that has a supernatural creature or a deity as its muse. A bard character could be an enigmatic painter with a mysterious being as its muse, or a celebrity who adores performance in the limelight with a similar attention-loving master of performance as its muse. A cleric is a religious savant dedicated to a certain deity. Clerics have to follow rules set in place by their deity and be in alignment that deity allows, similar to the champion. A cleric character could be a warrior focused on defending their religion, or a master spellcaster who launches spells relating to their deity's multiple domains. The Druid is a spellcaster focused on the natural world and primal spells. The Druid is a master of natural forces and works to preserve and further them. A Druid character could focus on the awesome natural power of fire and destruction, or be a much more peaceful warden of the plant life present in the wild. The Magus is a very interesting meld of magical and martial prowess. A Magus works to combine their martial strength and magical expertise to be a devastating force on the battlefield. A Magus character could be a wild force of shadows and absolute freedom and mobility, or an astral one of ranged magic. The Oracle is the inheritor of a certain divine mystery of the universe. This mystery manifests itself as a curse that worsens as oracles use their magic. Somewhat paradoxically, a curse can have both positive and negative effects. An oracle character could be cursed with the constant influence of their quibbling long-dead ancestors, or the forces of death could have an incredible influence over their life. The Sorcerer is the spellcaster who just doesn't have to try. They are born with latent magical power in their blood, and thus have incredible flexibility with their magic. A sorcerer's bloodline defines the spell list that they draw from. A sorcerer could have hag blood flowing through their veins, or they could be related to dragons. The Summoner has a connection with a supernatural entity known as an Eidolon. This spiritual creation works together with the Summoner, instead of it being a simple minion. In addition, the Eidolon you choose determines the spell list that your character uses. A Summoner character could have a benevolent angel as its Eidolon, or a mischievous fae. Next up is my personal favorite character class in the game right now, the Witch. It has parallels to D&D's Warlock since it enters into a pact with an otherworldly being, but there are no mechanical similarities. Your patron supplies you with the familiar, hexes, and a spell list. A witch character could serve an unknown patron who supplies her with debilitating curses, or a kindly patron who's guarded over their family for millennia. The Wizard is the final class on this list. They access magic via hard work and intelligence. Unlike the Sorcerer, a Wizard records spells in their spellbook and focuses on a specific school of magic, or all of them equally. A Wizard character could be a dread master of necromancy, or a worldly student focusing on arcane magic as a whole. This concludes my brief overview of the Pathfinder 2e classes. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below if I missed anything, or if you have suggestions for videos in the future. Bye guys!